Three Texas cities are taking the state to court over its anti-sanctuary cities law. Austin, San Antonio, and El Paso have joined forces, filing a lawsuit in reaction to SB 4, the newly passed bill that allows law enforcement to request immigration documents during a detainment. The suit claims the measure is unconstitutional. Opponents are asking a federal judge to make a ruling before the law goes into effect September 1st. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton expected the lawsuits. Soon after the governor signed the measure, he filed a federal suit asking a federal judge to rule that Senate Bill 4 doesn't violate the 4th or 14th Amendments. So that's our topic this half hour, and we want to hear from you on our Fox 26 Facebook page. You can also send me a tweet at Sally Mack, Fox 26. Joining us live right now in the studio is our senior legal analyst, Chris Tritico, Democratic media consultant, Mustafa Tamiz, and Republican strategist and public policy analyst, Jackie Bally. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
So will we see Houston headed in this direction and joining the suit?
I don't think so. I haven't heard any rumblings coming out of the city of Houston leaders that they intend on filing suit or joining in this lawsuit. And interestingly, the mayor of San Antonio and 2 council members were opposed to joining the lawsuit, and San Antonio did it anyway, Mustafa. The issue in this case that they're arguing is preemption, that the federal law controls immigration. The state of Texas does not have the authority to pass this law.
You know, when you're in trouble, you pass the law and you go to a federal judge, says, is this okay? And that's what Ken Paxton's done. And Texas has been suing the federal government for all sorts of things, and this looks like that this is headed toward the courts, whether it's the cities or a third-party group that files.
It's a bit early to file it. You'd think they would file it right before the law takes effect. If you're going to get a judge to ban it, you want him to ban it right before it takes effect, not give the Fifth Circuit time to overturn that.
I think they're responding to Ken Paxton's lawsuit that he filed already. And so this is kind of like Texas legislature, always in the courts. What
about this issue of preemption? Federal law says that immigration is in the province of the federal government. That may be a decent argument.
Look, we have, our governor said that we want to cooperate with our federal authorities. So if you have someone that is an illegal immigrant, someone who's not here legally, it is our duty to help our federal agents to actually detain them and make sure that they do abide by our laws. So I think it's very ironic that people want to sue us because they want to keep illegals here, and they want, of course, we know the Democrats are the ones, the driving force behind all of this, because they're hoping that these people are a future voting base.
Interesting argument from a group of the Republicans that sued the state of Texas probably 100 times during the Obama administration.
More than any time any state has sued the United States government, it's the state of Texas during the last several years. But look, this is not just a partisan issue. Every single major law enforcement agency, sheriffs, police chiefs have come out and said this law will make our streets more dangerous. The Texas legislature did not listen to any of them and pass this legislation, because it's not just about illegal immigrants or undocumented people. This makes the region unsafe for all of us.
Let me go to Sally. She's monitoring our social media.
All right, we'll take a look at Twitter here. This was a statement that one of our state reps, Matt Rinaldi, sent out earlier this week after he got into it with another rep on the floor during a protest. And he basically had called ICE because there were, what he said, illegal immigrants protesting at the state capitol this week. And Caroline says, by calling ICE on these protesters, Rinaldi demonstrated exactly how the law will lead to racial profiling and possibly violence. And they're using the hashtag SB4 is hate. Now, Kofefe White Girl says SB4 is hate. No, it's not. No sanctuary cities. Illegals shouldn't have American rights. Send them home. And then here's a look at all of those protesters that filled the state capitol earlier this week.
You know, the protesting in the Capitol is a right, guaranteed members, but citizens of this country. But the floor fight was a pretty bad thing. The issue really goes beyond what happened at the Capitol. If you ask me, that's a side issue. The question is, does the state of Texas have a right to tell, like an elected sheriff, this is how you will run your elected office?
Well, look, if we look at the numbers that ICE provides, 60% of illegals have a criminal background. I mean, the fact that they came into the country illegally, they're already criminals, but they have another criminal activity, 60% of them, and 36% of them are serious crimes. So whenever we say, oh, it's going to make our country, our areas not as safe, the numbers that ICE provides, that is incorrect. If our governor wants to protect United States citizens and American citizens and Texans, it is his right to do so.
60% of undocumented people are not criminals.
That's what ICE says.
60%
Those numbers are released.
60% of undocumented people are not criminals. Look, put all of this aside. This is just an inhumane way to deal with an issue that's an emotional issue for many people, and it makes our streets less safe, according to law enforcement professionals.
Now, wait a minute. The state of Texas has a right, as an independent sovereign, to say this is how our state is going to be run, doesn't it?
No, these are federal laws, and we argue with the federal government all the time about state rights versus federal rights, and this is always, immigration has always been an issue that's been done by the federal government, and so you can't begin to enforce federal laws. If that means that local law enforcement has to do that, then we just don't have enough resources to do anything else that local jurisdictions require.
Look, sanctuary cities are a haven for these illegals. I think everyone seems to forget on the left that these people came into the country illegally. So abiding by our laws is not something that's really high on their list. They came into our country illegally. The ICE does provide those stats. They do have a criminal record. 60% of them do. 36% of them have a very serious criminal record.
Let me cut you off,
and if our governor says this is how we're going to protect our residents, I think it's within his right to do so.
Wasn't it Ronald Reagan who in a debate said these people are just coming here to work? And wasn't it George Bush II who said we need to find a way to let these people come here and work?
Just because they have compassion does not get rid of the fact that they came here illegally.
All right, we got to leave it right there. We'll be back in the next hour with two really good topics.
Okay, we'll see you guys then. Right now.